Hello, welcome to Life Under Lockdown. Today we're not travelling very far at all, really, to be honest. In fact, only about a mile down the road to the convent of St Peter Clavers in Bellsill, and we're joined by Sister Stacey Cameron. Welcome, Sister.
Thank you, JP. It's nice to see you, even online.
It was great to see you as well. I know, obviously you feel like you're a million miles away at the minute, but really you're just down the road.
Yeah, very true.
How has lockdown treat you?
Lockdowns. It's been interesting. It's been an interesting experience. I think after the initial shock that this is really happening and this is happening in the world and everybody I think was a bit taken off guard with it all. I think we've just tried to enter into it and embrace it as best we can, and just it's been a real invitation to spend time in deeper prayer and a lot more time in intercessory prayer as well, because we hear of so many needs, so many people struggling with and without the coronavirus. But I think we've all experienced that we feel a bit more in tune with all of that, and we're praying a lot more intensely for people's intentions and the various needs that we hear about. So I think it's been a real invitation in that sense for us, but it took a bit for us to kind of adjust mentally, really, to okay, well, we're not going out. You see that meme of like the most useless purchase of 2020, the 2020 diary, and they're throwing it away. And I think it's so true, because the hardest part, I think, is actually that sense of just abandonment, that we have to just embrace this because we actually don't know when it's going to end and when you can start forward planning, and that has turned lots of things upside down. Lots of things that we had already programmed, and lots of ideas we had, that they're all on hold or might not happen at all, and we just have to abandon ourselves to that. So it's been interesting.
No, it's funny because I'm been watching, we're very well in touch with each other, and last year it seems like you were always abroad. Not exactly, but you were in Africa, you were in Rome as well, and different places. So how has your life as a religious sister changed due to this pandemic?
It's funny because even though we are an apostolic congregation, so that means we have an external work, an external apostolate, and we're used to going around different parishes and schools and different things, or the mission visits with the students, or different gatherings or whatever in different parts of the world. Sometimes they come as well. We actually do have a very strong contemplative dimension to our life, and that's expressed in how our life is also expressed in how our life is structured. So we as a congregation still actually have quite a structured day. We live with set times, and we live community in a way that we have set times for prayer, set times for eating, set times for meeting together, and all sorts of things like that. So in the day-to-day life, that's not really changed. That's still the same for us, whether or not we're in lockdown or not. So, and I think that's been a great help for us, because everything you're reading is telling people get into a routine and get used to it. And I think we gave ourselves permission for a couple of days to kind of be a bit flexible, not so much with the routine, but a bit more than we normally would be, just to kind of try and get our heads around this. But now we're back to rhythm, and we're just following each day as it is. And I think because we live our life like that, a lot of our work happens within the house anyway. So the work is still here. Like a lot of the editorial work, magazines and calendars and all that stuff, it's all still that happens on the computer. So whether or not lockdown's happening, that's there. No, our prayer life, our community life, it's still the same. So whilst the external expressions are gone, the parish visits and school visits or whatever else, the day-to-day life really hasn't changed a huge amount.
That's good. That's good to hear. But obviously, you're a very wide congregation in terms of your geographical spread. And obviously, this virus is affecting countries differently. We're quite bad in the UK in some ways, but also we're quite good with our kind of healthcare setup. What have you heard from your fellow, sisters abroad? How are they facing this situation?
think every place is very different. Our sisters in India have been making masks to distribute amongst the poor and key workers that we would call them there, that they just don't have access to them. In Cape Verde, the children, we have quite a vast distance adoption program for children in Cape Verde, and we've been trying to provide additional support for them and their families in this time. Biggest hit, I think, has been our communities in Italy with regards to lockdown, because their lockdown has been much, much more severe than ours. They've not even been allowed to go out for a walk. It's one person out to do the shopping and that's it. And in a house of 45 sisters, that could be quite a challenge, because they're used to being out and going to university and whatever else, and then all of a sudden they've found themselves, all of them, at home. So the garden's looking great, the house is really clean, and the library's all been tidied up and all these things. They've done their best to just do household tasks to get everything.
I mean, I'm jealous of your situation, because you've got a swing in your back garden, which is
oh yeah, the swing's been well used.
I mean, that's certainly a good thing, a good way of doing exercise as well, isn't it, surely?
Yeah, and we even dug out the swing ball.
Get you send me photographs of that.
Quite a few kicking about, yeah.
You're saying you go out for your walk, your daily exercise. You're also very visible with your religious attire on, your habit. How, there's a general kind of thing in society just now where I think people are turning back towards the ways of faith. Do you find that when people see you in your daily exercise, whilst maintaining distances with you, do you think they react to you in a more kind of engaging way than before?
I don't really know, to be honest, because I think our experience, especially certainly here in Bells Hill and in this area, is that people do approach us. They do talk to us, and that hasn't changed. There's certainly more people around. There's certainly more people out walking, even if respecting social distancing, than there normally would be. I think people aren't obviously taking their cars and stuff like that, and they are actually making that time to go and exercise. And it's interesting to see families out walking together. That's a sight you don't get to see very often. Where they're actually out together going for a walk, and because people's schedules don't normally permit that sort of thing. So that's been really nice to see. And people they're very open and they're friendly and they'll smile and they'll wave and maybe have a quick chat. But yeah, but for us, that's very common experience anyway. When we are out walking, people do talk to us.
What I find is a kind of rare sight is in Scotland is this big orange ball you see in the sky called the sun, and it seems like since lockdown has started, it's like every day's been sunny. It's sunny just now.
I think that's just, for me, it's it's God's goodness. He knows how much we can bear, and He never gives us more than we can bear. And I think He always gives us what we need to deal with any given situation. And I think that just psychologically for people just makes a huge difference. If we were all on lockdown, it was pouring rain every single day, people would be in a much worse off situation, especially people who struggle with mental health and different things like that. Just the fact that the sun is there, even if we can't get out and enjoy it how we would normally want to, it is a huge boost to the spirit.
Yeah. How do you draw upon Blessed Maria Ledachowska's kind of life story? What I remember from it, she had sort of fleeting instances with infectious diseases and plagues and things like that, and illness herself, really, in some ways. So how do you draw upon her story?
I think that she, for us, is she's a great example of faith and just abandonment to God's will. And I think it's really, like I was saying earlier, that is that we're trying to embrace this time and not just put up with it, and actually try and see what God is trying to teach us in this time and try to really listen. I think one of the things that has been really striking for me is almost a fear in people of the gap. Almost a panic of, well, what do I do now? Life's changed, my routine's gone, what do I do? And it's actually just trying to not fill that gap with other things and actually just embrace it and see what God is teaching us in that. And I think that's very much what she did in these different periods in her life, is she just accepted, not in a sense of that she didn't struggle and question and pray and wonder why and really feel the suffering of the situation, but that she accepted that it was happening, and she just tried to live it in faith and abandon herself to God in that, and just see where he was leading.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Sister, for your insight into your lockdown experience. I know there's so many people tuning in across the world, really, in some ways, to these videos and seeing how people, different Catholics, are coping with the pandemic. And it seems that you're thriving in some ways on the situation, and that's a great example for everyone who's watching who maybe could make the most out of that. Well, I can't wait actually to the day we can see you once again in the grey habits at Mass. I can't wait.
Habits of Mass. I always hope there's people in those habits of Mass.
I'm sure there will be, but thank you, Sister Erin, for your time, and we'll keep in touch and keep praying for each other that we get through this, and however long lockdown will be, that we'll definitely come out better and stronger.
I'm sure we will. God gives the grace. We just have to open it. God bless. Bye.
Thank you.